Make-believe vibes with a shot of fun, dripping in love like syrup spun. Calgary's heart fuels the northern fire. KCCO crew will take you higher. Decree, raise your glass, keep calm and jive on. Dance to the beat till the break of dawn. Chive-o Canada, we're bold and free, celebrating life, that's our decree. Decree, that's our decree.
City lights are glowing bright tonight. KCCO crew, it feels so right. Calgary roaring with the flames we stoke. This is the vibe, the unbreakable folk. Raise your glass, keep calm and chive on. Dance to the beat till the break of dawn. Chive-o Canada, we're bold and free, celebrating life, that's our decree. Cowboy hats with a party twist. Yeehaw moves you just can't resist. From the Rockies to the big prairie skies, we soar so high, make spirits rise. Let the bass drop, hear the anthem thump. Feel the ground shake with every jump. We're a family bound by laughs and cheers, spreading kindness, we've no fears. Raise your glass, keep calm and chive on. Dance to the beat till the break of dawn. Chive-o Canada, we're bold and free, celebrating life, it's our decree. Maple-leaf vibes with a shot of fun, dripping in love like syrup spun. Calgary's heart fuels the northern fire. KCCO crew will take you higher. Raise your glass, keep calm and chive on. Dance to the beat till the break of dawn. Chive-o Canada, we're bold and free, celebrating life, that's our decree. Maple-leaf vibes with a shot of fun, dripping in love like syrup spun. Calgary's heart fuels the northern fire. KCCO crew will take you higher.
Under Calgary's sun where the Rockies rise, KCCO vibes, it's no surprise. We're living large, oh Canada, partying hard all night and day. Turn up the beat, feel that bassline drop. With Chive Nation, we'll never stop. Raise your glass, let's make a toast to the West Coast, who does it most. KCCO Calgary, where we come alive. Chive on Canada, let's feel the vibe. In the heart of Alberta, where the fun don't cease. Raving through the night, finding inner peace. From the prairies to the peaks, we gather here with friends so dear and spirits clear. Chive-O Canada, we all unite for freedom, kindness, and endless light. Turn up the beat, feel that bassline drop. With Chive Nation, we'll never stop. Raise your glass, let's make a toast to the West Coast, who does it most. KCCO Calgary, where we come alive. Chive on Canada, let's feel the vibe. In the heart of Alberta, where the fun don't cease. Raving through the night, finding inner peace. Under the northern lights, we lose control. Our hearts beat as one, a collective soul. KCCO Calgary, where dreams take flight. Together we conquer the longest night. KCCO Calgary, where we come alive. Chive on Canada, let's feel the vibe. In the heart of Alberta, where the fun don't cease. Raving through the night, finding inner peace. So let's keep dancing till the morning light. With KCCO spirit, we'll be alright. Oh Canada, and we stand so tall in this Chive Nation, we'll never fall. Under Calgary sky, where the Rockies shine, KCCO vibes we unwind. With Chive-O Canada, a unity call. Dancing through the night, we give our all. Feel the beat drop, let your spirits fly. Together we rise, reaching for the sky. Raise a glass high for the Chive Nation, spreading love and joy across our great nation. KCCO Calgary, we come alive. Chive on Canada, we thrive. In Alberta's heart, where the fun won't cease. Raving through the night, finding inner peace. From the prairies to the peaks, we gather near with friends so dear and spirits clear. Chive-O Canada, and we unite as one, celebrating life till the night is done. Feel the beat drop, let your spirits fly. Together we rise, reaching for the sky. Raise a glass high for the Chive Nation, spreading love and joy across our great nation. KCCO Calgary, we come alive. Chive on Canada, we thrive. under northern lights. Our souls ignite with KCCO. Everything's right. Chive-O Canada, and we stand tall. With unity and love we conquer all.
And a happy hump day to you. Hopefully you're having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. My name is Kevin, one of your KCCO Calgary admins. And yeah, I've been away for a couple of weeks. One was a work trip that I was actually out of the city for, so had to postpone until today. So I want to give a huge thank you for those that have joined in today. And yeah, today is going to be a bit of a fun day. We are starting Halloween spooky season. So today being October the 1st, it is a fun time to get out there and start getting your Halloween decorating ideas out there. So as I'm just starting to get into the mood here. Haven't got my decorations pulled out as of yet, but this weekend I will be starting to pull them out. So you will be seeing some decorations on the set here. So I want to give a huge shout out to Marcy and Cody for tuning in and joining and watching. So hopefully you're having a happy hump day today. And we're going to have a bit of a different stream today because unfortunately I'm going for some dental work tomorrow. So no cocktails will be made tonight, but instead I've made myself some beverage here, non-alcoholic, that I will be sipping as we go through things today. And what I'd like to do is get started with Chive Charity Stories, sort of the reason why our chapter is around, to make the world 10% better. So if you head over to chivecharities.org, they have stories of all the recipients of the Chive Charity grants. So we're going to read through a few of them because we've kind of missed out on a couple of weeks here. So we're going to head over and we're going to start with Charlie G. Starting saying, she lost her voice, but not her say. And the amount that they raised was $2,500 for her. So Charlie used to live in music. A classically trained pianist and teacher, she built a boutique studio called Find Your Voice 2. It wasn't just about notes or stage presence. For Charlie, music was the tool she used to help her students discover who they really were. Young artists are so often misunderstood, she once said. They need a reflection of their light. Her students knew exactly what she meant. Years later, many still reach out to her to say her belief in them changed their lives. Charlie calls them her legacy. That was before August 2024. That was before the diagnosis that changed everything. Charlie has ALS. In less than a year, the disease has stolen her ability to sing, walk, or play piano. She has lost the use of her arms and hands. Her voice, once the instrument she used to teach, to encourage, to connect, has been reduced to faint sounds she jokes could be mistaken for Chewbacca. Humor has always been a way through, but even she admits there's nothing funny about what ALS takes away. It's progressive, unrelenting, and never asks permission before it closes another door. One of the hardest losses is independence. Charlie has always been fiercely self-reliant. Now she requires full-time caregiving to live safely at home. Medicaid covers some hours, but far from enough. Every month, she and her advocates face impossible math. excuse me, 1900 in disability income versus thousands upon thousands in caregiving costs. Even with every benefit maximized, there's still a gap of $5,000 or more. And that's before medical equipment, before therapies, before countless small costs that pile up when life shrinks to the size of a living room. But even harder than the bills are the support cutoffs when ALS makes it impossible to keep up. Physical therapy was one of the few things that actually helped. Treatments like visceral nerve therapy and laser therapy eased her pain and brought relief. Then came the day her clinic emailed to say she was no longer a patient. The reason? Missed appointments. What they didn't account for were the endless hurdles of arranging caregivers, coordinating transportation, including assistance from the local fire department, and simply surviving a disease that makes every step harder. It wasn't neglect, it was ALS. The loss of therapy was devastating. When you find something that works, you want to turn that on full force, said her friend Randy. To have that taken away, it's beyond disappointing. It's cruel, Charlie agrees. She described her body now as crumpled and contorted and tight, without the treatment that once gave her relief, and she's left asking the same haunting question too many people with ALS face. Why am I punished for what I can't control? The truth is, she pays the price for a broken system, and the weight of that falls squarely on her shoulders. Thanks to your generosity, though, Chive Charities was able to lift some of that burden and cover a $2,500 grant for therapy, making sure Charlie doesn't have to give up that care that keeps her grounded. The rest of the grant will go towards purchasing a breathing machine, a critical piece of equipment that will help her stay safe at home. Together, these gifts bring stability in a life where stability is often ripped away. ALS has taken so much from Charlie. It's not fair. It's not her fault. And yet, she pays the price again and again. Your generosity changes that story. It makes sure it isn't cut off. It makes sure she isn't cut off from care. It helps her breathe easier, sleep easier, and keep writing. Because even now, she's still writing poems, stories, and a children's book that teaches kids to read music in just 45 minutes. She tested it in classrooms herself. Kids who have never touched a piano were reading rhythms by the end. And even though ALS has silenced her voice, she still finds a way to be heard. In a recent post typed with her eyes, she wrote, "There's always a gift reflecting our light back to us in our darkest hour. We need only open our eyes." She's right, and today that gift is you. Your support restores access to care that should never have been taken from her, and it sends Charlie a message she deserves to hear. You are not alone. We see you with eyes wide open. So there's Charlie. Such a great story, and how just a few dollars can gather and become a life-altering experience. All right, the next story is Jaden K, the chosen one. They raised $54,721, and the impact was a wheelchair-accessible van. In America, the typical family is often imagined as a mom, a dad, 2.5 kids, a dog, and a house, and a white picket fence. But not everyone is born into a typical American family. Jaden entered the world facing a mountain of challenges. His father didn't even know of his birth. That truth came years later in a courtroom, a shocking revelation paired with an equally daunting reality. Jaden was medically complex in ways most people will never encounter. By the time he was 6 years old, Jaden had lived in foster care, been hospitalized for malnutrition, and endured chronic seizures. His diagnoses were staggering: quadriplegic cerebral palsy, Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, the ultra-rare Allen Herndon-Dudley syndrome, epilepsy, and global development delays. He was nonverbal, G-tube fed, and completely dependent on others for daily care. For Jaden, nothing came easy. What he needed wasn't just a team of specialists or advanced medical equipment. He needed a permanent home. He needed family. That's when his aunt, Chanrath, stepped forward. For more than 12 years, she had worked in human resources at the University of Florida, carefully building a career and a stable life of her own. But in that moment, she made a choice that would change everything. She chose Jaden, and in turn, Jaden chose her. In December of 2019, she welcomed him into her home. 6 months later, in June 2020, the adoption was finalized. From that day forward, Jaden was no longer a child in foster care. He was her son. The transition was anything but easy. When I first got him, it was definitely challenging, she remembers. She had no medical training, no blueprint for how to manage seizure protocols, feeding tubes, or wheelchairs that seemed impossibly heavy. Her small home quickly filled with medical supplies, leaving little room for anything else. Days revolved around appointments, routines, and constant learning curve of caring for a child with complex needs. She wasn't alone. Jaden's foster parents, who had cared for him before, taught her what they could and remained part of his extended village. Piece by piece, Chanrath built her confidence as a caregiver. Piece by piece, Jaden began to change. In the beginning, he was so agitated. He cried a lot, and I think it was because he just didn't know what was happening, she said. Slowly, as he grew comfortable, the tears faded. He began to smile. He giggled when tickled. Music on his iPad made him light up. He made sounds that became his language, one that only those closest to him could fully understand. Patience, Chanrath said, is the greatest lesson he taught me. Jaden's diagnoses were among the rarest in the world. Allen Herndon-Dudley syndrome, which affects his thyroid, shortens life expectancy, and makes the future uncertain. There are definitely difficult days because we really don't know what condition will be like as the years go by, Chanrath admitted. I just want him to be happy and as normal as possible for his age. For now, happiness looks like watching his iPad, listening to music, feeling the sun on his face outside, and going for car rides. Those moments of joy matter. They are proof that even though Jaden is stuck in his little body, as his mum says, his spirit remains as vibrant as any child's. Today, Jaden is 12 years old, still is nonverbal and fully dependent on others for his care. But he is also joyful, affectionate, and quick to laugh. But with each passing year, the physical demands of caring for him grew heavier, literally. Jaden now weighs more than 70 pounds, and his wheelchair weighs over 60. Every outing requires a painstaking routine. Lifting him from his bed, carrying him down the stairs, transferring him to a car seat, and hoisting the chair into the trunk of her SUV. When we had a Honda CR-V, his chair didn't even fit, Chanrath explained. They eventually moved to a Honda Pilot, but it was still a struggle. Lifting a 74-pound child up into a car seat, it gets a little difficult, and you can't do anything in a hurry. Everything has to be planned. Even with a ramp at home, transportation was becoming dangerous for both of them. Yet, Chanrath did it anyway, because doctor's appointments, therapy visits, and even short drives just for fun mattered to Jaden's quality of life. At Chive Charities, making people's lives even 10% happier is our mission. So, with the help of our partners at AMS Vans, Jaden and Chanrath received a wheelchair-accessible Ford Transit for a total impact of $54,721. For the first time, Chanrath doesn't have to fear injury just to get her son out the door. The van represents more than convenience. It represents dignity, safety, and independence. It represents a future where Jaden can continue to experience his world beyond his home without exhausting his mother. Jaden's story is rare. His diagnosis, his path through foster care, the aunt who became his mother, but it is also universal. When it comes down to it, it's about sacrifice and love. About what it means to put aside the life you imagine in order to give someone else the chance at theirs. In choosing Jaden, Chanrath gave him a home, stability, and unconditional love. In return, Jaden gave her patience, joy, and a deeper sense of purpose. They became each other's gifts. Jaden's story is proof that sometimes the most powerful families aren't the ones we're born into, but the ones who choose us. And thanks to the Chive charity donors, their journey has one less mountain to climb. So thank you to everyone who was a part of it, and if you weren't and always want to be, there's always room for more in the donor family. So, what a cute kid. So, all right, with that, we're going to have a bit of fun today. We are going to just taking a quick peek around to see who is around. So, yeah, we're going to be playing some games. We're going to be having some fun with different types of activities. So, let us start things off. We have... Hey, wait a minute. Why isn't that working? There we go. So we have a wheel here, and we have different activities, and we're going to just do a few of them, and yeah, and then we'll call it a night. So here we have Shut the Box, Spooky Riddles, This or That, Autumn Trivia, Halloween Emoji Test, and a 10% trivia. So we're going to give this a spin, and we're going to see what comes up. And look at that. Shut the Box is the first one. So I'm just going to turn that off. Then Shut the Box. I actually have it all set up here, where it's an actual physical game of Shut the Box. And it is an abbreviated version. It is 1 through 10, as opposed to the regular one that you're familiar with, 1 through 12, that you've seen online. So we're going to just go and see how far we can get, and if we can get all of them. So we're going to start off with 12. And because we're only 1 to 10, we don't have an actual 12. So I'm going to go with a 10 and a 2. And we have a 3 and a 5. So that's going to be an 8. And then we have a 6 and a 2, which is 8, which I can make as a 7 and a 1. And what do we have? 2 1s, and we are done because my 1 is done and my 2s is gone. So we are finished. So Shut the Box was not that successful. So on to spin number 2. Hopefully we get something a little more fun and interactive for you guys. We're going to be doing some trivia. So let me just pull up my trivia. All right. So 10% trivia all has to do with Chive charities. So I'll ask you a few questions, probably about 5. And we'll see how good you are with your knowledge of Chive charities. So what year was Chive Charities founded? And if you're a real diehard, you'll be able to put down the answer in the comments. And the year Chive Charities was founded was in 2012. And let us see, what other questions do we have here? What is the motto of Chive Nation that ties into Chive Charities' mission? You know this because it's on just about every single type of Chive merchandise. It is KCCO, keep calm and chive on. And this is an important one. What type of causes does Chive Charities primarily support? And if you know this, you know. So the types of causes that Chive Charities primarily supports are underdog causes, rare medical needs, veterans, first responders, and special needs communities. Those are primarily the ones that are supported from Chive Charities. And sort of to tie into that, what does Chive Charities help with life-changing grants, and what are these often used for? As you heard in some of those stories, they're used for special equipment, renovations, therapy, and other critical needs. So with that, we're going to hop back to the screen here and do another spin. So we've done 2 of them. What are we going to get this time? We already just did that, so we're going to do another one. I was hoping for the emoji. That was fun. That one is fun. Here we go. How about some spooky riddles? All right. These should be fairly simple. So let me know what your guesses are in the comments. I creep without feet and whisper without breath. I visit at night and vanish at death. What am I? Once again, I creep without feet and whisper without breath. I visit at night and vanish at death. What am I? The answer is a ghost. Number 2. I have teeth but never bite. I hang around in a dim moonlight. What am I? Once again, I have teeth but never bite. I hang around in dim moonlight. What am I? And yet, there's actually two possible answers here. The primary answer is a comb. A comb has teeth. Or alternatively, a saw. Because a saw does have teeth as well. All right, number 3. Black as night, silent as stone, I wait in corners far from home. Open me once and stories unfold. My pages are dead, but never cold. What am I? Once again, black as night, silent as stone. I wait in corners far from home. Open me once and stories unfold. My pages are dead, but never cold. What am I? That one is a spell book. Okay, one more. You can hear me snap, yet see no jaw. I creak, I groan, I rattle the floor. What am I? Once again, you can hear me snap, yet see no jaw. I creak, I groan, I rattle the floor. What am I? That would be a skeleton. So let's see if we can we remove the ones that we've done? So we've done the 10% trivia. We've done the spooky riddles. And we've done shut the box. So we have 3 left. So let's see which one we can get. And it's going to be this or that. So this will be fun. These are the autumn this or that questions. So, which would you prefer? Pumpkin spice latte or hot apple cider? Let me know down in the comments which one you would like. For me, probably a hot apple cider. Number 2, a haunted house or a corn maze? Which kind of Halloween or autumn type of activity do you like to do? A haunted house or a corn maze? And for myself, it would be a corn maze. Okay, number 3, cozy sweater or a flannel shirt? Definitely love the look of flannel. That is always fun, but for me, I think it'd have to be a cozy sweater. All right, number 4, jumping in a leaf pile or carving a pumpkin? For me, I used to love jumping in leaf piles. But now, I like carving a pumpkin. Okay, last one. Apple pie or pumpkin pie? Which is your favorite? Let me know. And for me, 100% pumpkin pie. Not just because it's Halloween, but I enjoy it so much. Alright, back to the screen. And we have done this or that. So we're down to autumn trivia or Halloween emoji. Oh, we're going to save the emojis till last. So the autumn trivia. Where are we here? All right. Number 1. What is the date of the first official day of autumn in the Northern Hemisphere? Also known as the autumnal equinox. What is the date of the first official day of autumn in the Northern Hemisphere? That is around September 22nd, 23rd. And this is Canada specific. Which Canadian holiday is celebrated in October and is often associated with an autumn harvest? That is Thanksgiving, and it's usually held the second Monday in October. So that's coming up. All right, the third one is, which fruit is most commonly associated with autumn and is picked in orchards? That would be apples. And, okay, which other one can I give you? What is, pumpkin spice is a mix of spices. Name 2 of the main ones. So let me know what you think pumpkin spice consists of. And some of the drinks that I've made definitely do have this combination. So pumpkin spice is a mix of spices. 2 of the main ones could be any one of these ones. Cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cloves, and allspice. So any 2 of those combinations. Then the last one, which bird famously migrates south in autumn, forming a V in the sky? And definitely I'm seeing a few of those now. And those are the Canadian geese. They're starting to gather and start their trip down south. Weather's starting to cool off for them. All right. So we have done the autumn trivia. So that kind of leaves, I'm hoping we can get this one. The Halloween emoji. Actually, let's do this. Why don't I just hide this for a moment? Put this up there. Go into full screen mode there. And just hide that. And then we go back here and there we go. So the Halloween emoji test. It is a combination of movies and television shows. So let's see how well you do with your Halloween emojis. First one. This one is a movie. We got a pumpkin, a knife, and a house. And this one I think is pretty easy to guess. It is, of course, Halloween, the movie. Next one. We have a ghost. And this is kind of a deep cut, so hopefully you are a fan of Halloween and spooky type of movies. The Sixth Sense is what this one was. And then this one got a TV. Yeah, this one's kind of tough. I'll give you that. That one is Stranger Things. Kind of tough to do that with emojis. This one should, there's one clue in there that should give it away. That would be it, the red balloon. And this one I wasn't familiar with, so I don't know whether you're able to gather what it is. This one, vehicle, skull, and a highway. Jeepers Creepers. And the next one, got a ghost and some zombies and a house and some popcorn, looks like. And that one is Goosebumps. Hopefully the next one's just a little bit easier. So you have a cat, a broom, some stars, and a moon. Hocus Pocus. And I think this is the last one. Yeah. Hopefully this is very apparent. So there we go. Have a mask, knife, and some college students. That would be Scream. There we go. Let me know how you guys did with all of those. All right. So that was just a little bit of fun starting off our Halloween season, and definitely we'll be doing more in the upcoming weeks. And yeah, just want to also give you some, actually, let's go back here. And mark your calendars, because coming up on October 10th is Team 10% Day. So make sure you're getting out and doing something to make the world 10% better. And we're already starting to book up events in December. So way down south, they're having an event. So make sure that you mark that into your calendars if you happen to be in that area. And another thing to keep in mind, Start a Vampire Blood Drive. The last week of October, KCCO Calgary will be having a blood donor drive. So get out, make your appointments, and go and be the 10%. And with that, I'm going to wrap things up, and I'm going to go make myself a little bite to eat. So hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And I will see you here next week with an update on my dental work. So cheers, chive on, and we'll see you next week. Cheers. Chive on.
In a world so full of noise and clatter, we dream of making things just a bit better. Small changes adding up to a greater whole. Let's ignite the spark, let's reach our goal. We'll make the world 10% brighter. With love and kindness, we'll be fighters. Every action counts, every little letter. Together we'll make the world 10% better. From the streets where hope seems to fade to the hearts where love needs to be remade. Let's lend a hand and spread some cheer in the darkest of nights. Let's world a brighter place to stay. If we step with